If he hit Will Smith back, I would be looking at the TV like, nigga, you don't give a fuck about Ma at all, you know?
If I just stabbed Kanye tonight, I would be the most famous person tomorrow.
And he sent me a link and he was like, yo, this is a lifetime Tender Gold membership. I clicked the link. It took me to his profile. I had to swipe right on this dude. After it was loaded. It had all the boosts, all the super.
I watched a guy in LA make a handicapped girl cry. And this dude goes up, they're like, all right, it's his birthday, we're going to bring him up and let him do 5 minutes at the end. He's like, hey, you'd probably be fun to because your legs are dead. And this girl just instantly starts crying. Boom.
Fire.
Guys, we have Jordan Rock here with us.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Comedian.
Yes.
Actor.
Yeah.
Pot smoker.
Yes, pot smoker. I used to be a pothead, but now, you know,
What are the
leveling
three,
down.
if you were to break it down, what's the most important one of the three? How do you rate? Are you more of a comedian, more of an actor, or more of a pot smoker? And in which?
Definitely way more of a comedian.
Okay.
Comedian is number one. Then it's pot smoker, actor. Actor, like, you know how people are like, yo, I'm a comedian actor. I was totally lying about the actor part.
Really?
Until I started booking shit.
Which is wild because I think my introduction to you was, I feel like actor. Because I saw you on Love on Netflix, and I was like, oh my God. And then I think we first met backstage at Chris's show, and I was like, grabbing S, I was like, dude, that's the guy, he's in Love. And that's my introduction to you.
Yeah, that's most people's introduction to me is
dope
Love.
show.
So yeah.
Yeah?
If you've never seen that show,
Yeah,
that show's fucking so good.
Cult classic, they say these days, you know. Got one
Ooh.
under the belt.
That's a big one.
Good LA, great LA show. Just it takes place in Silver Lake. And it was the best thing to move to LA on. I moved to LA 25 on like a dope show. It was fire.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, how do you get something like that?
I don't even know. It was crazy. I was just on, you know what it was? I was on like a spiritual journey. I was doing a lot of shrooms.
Okay.
And you know how like when you're just out there, you're just meeting people, everything was just on 1,000. And I ended up in LA, got a new agent. I ended up in LA, did a bunch of meetings, auditioned, and they were like, yeah, we think you're going to get this role. And I didn't believe it at all. And then they called me and were like, yeah, we got the offer. And I was like, that's insane.
So sick.
First thing I ever did, too.
Dude, especially Netflix, because you're just like, Netflix has the potential to change people's lives. It's like the new Johnny Carson because everyone has it.
It definitely changed my life, yeah.
Right?
It definitely, I went from like a nobody to at least people being like, don't I know you from somewhere?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Did it
yeah.
give you more of an identity of your own, right? Because do you think before they were like, oh, he's a rock brother, right? Like it's
I don't even
Chris,
think
it's
they
Tony.
knew me.
Right. So this made it like, oh, Jordan's standing on his own 2 feet now instead of just being,
Which is dope. Gives you your own
Chris,
lane.
Tony, and,
Yeah,
and
correct.
you, right?
Yeah, Love was really just my big break. I would go places and people would be like, what is your first big break? What would you say is the first big break? And I'd always just say, I have no idea. I don't feel like it's here yet. But Love was the first thing where I realized, oh, things are different after this.
Kind of put you on a platform.
Right.
Yeah, because I thought I was left behind. I remember at that time, like Vine and everything was popping. Everybody was on Guy Code.
And you weren't engaging and you weren't really like jumping in.
Yeah, and I just thought I got left behind. And then I did one acting gig and it was like, oh, we're in meetings now.
Yeah, that's, I guess.
I think that's more official though, because a lot of Vine stars can't even make it on the big screen. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard for them to break through to that, right? All the guys that were doing skits and all
I don't
that
know
stuff,
one Viner that.
it's very tough. Even like, you know, King Batch, it took him a while though. He was big on Vine for a minute, and then he kind of broke into it down the line.
You know
I
what?
think
It's
the industry had to adjust to them, right? Like
It's for me, it's very hard to take social media people seriously on anything outside of their world. Like even myself, right? Because that's kind of where I exist. But like, so it's weird to see
It's
someone.
not professional.
It just seems like cornier, or you're like, oh, they're in there. It's like when Dan Bilzerian was in like that one movie with Gerard Butler, and you're like, oh, it's just because they wanted like an extra 100,000 eyes on it or whatever, millions of eyes. But it's like, yeah, the fact that you didn't come from like the Vine world, I think is so much better.
I think so too. I think it's a great way to start.
Because I'll never take King
Because I think your resume
as serious as I would
it's
take
harder
you.
now, you know?
hey, man, it was the path less chosen by a lot of my peers, but yeah, it worked out. I mean, it's going now.
And obviously that feeds the stand-up,
Yes.
right? Because you're getting more bookings.
Because people don't know. Like that was the good thing at the beginning was people didn't know what I was going to offer. So I can go into an audition and blow their mind. They've never seen me before. They can come to a show and be like, oh, wow, this dude's really funny because they had never seen me before. So for a while, that was my advantage.
It kind of keeps you on the underdog spot. Yeah. And then when they see it, they're like, holy shit.
Yeah,
like,
for a while,
fire. It's that shock factor.
Yeah, for a while, it was my advantage that, people hadn't met me.
You know what's one of my favorite clips that you had? I was looking through some of your stuff, is when you talk about the gay movie in Brooklyn and New York. Because I love like New York humor. Dude, so that's my favorite shit. You know what I mean?
I just fuck with New York comedy so much more than LA
so
comedy.
much more.
That's where you got to start.
Yeah, I think you come with such a stronger advantage because you can be in more clubs than them, right? We were just talking about it earlier. Like New York is just so much easier to run around. Like, what's the record amount of shows someone can do in LA? Like 4? I think you could do like 11 in the city.
4 and how long?
Right, in a night.
In a night, and well, you could do 11 spots in New York. You could do 4 spots in LA, probably if you drive.
Right.
But I don't think anybody should do over 2 spots.
Really?
Like, 2 to 3. 3, 4 on the weekend if it's booming. But during the week, just
explain
do 2 spots.
Why do you think that?
Unless they're paying you.
Is there too much exercise? Such a thing as like...
No, you know what I feel? I feel like there's not that many good shows going on.
Oh.
There's 2 good ones.
Saying. Oh, I just mean like, can you do like 4 at the Cellar, like 4 at New York Comedy Club? Like, can you do 8 spots as like not an open micer, right? Like,
yes, you could definitely do 7 spots. You could definitely do 4 at the Cellar, run over to New York, knock one out in between. If SD won't kill you.
I envy the life of a stand-up comic. And every time everyone's like, you know what, like they say this to funny people all the time, like you should do stand-up, and people like always try to DM me and they're like, "Real, why did you ever try stand-up?" And I was like, absolutely not. I think it just sounds so, I don't have the stage presence for it.
I envy,
and I don't also want to start now. Like it seems like such an uphill battle. And everything's fucking filmed now. I wouldn't be able to I'd have to fail publicly for so long.
No, you'd have to fail in between all of your successful and funny friends doing good.
Right.
But not only that, for me, that doesn't bother me as much as the fact that the struggle of not making a certain amount of money is what,
I don't care about
what would
that.
kill me.
I think the road
because
would kill
for
me.
It's more like the freedom of like if I'm used to making a certain amount of money and I really want to go all in on the comedy.
Yeah.
And I know that it's gonna be at least I got to give it a 5 to 10 pack. Like if I really want to make this shit right, I got to give it a 5 to 10 pack. And me knowing that for those 5-10 years, I'm going to be super tight with my money and I got to really balance everything out. That alone just depresses me and makes me very annoyed.
But do you think it's easier to make money as a comic now than it was with the advantages of social media? Like you get many brand deals. You can get, I'll get a sponsor for this little tour.
Yeah.
Like I don't think the financial struggle is as terrifying as also going on the road. I also think that I'm just so old and tired. Like, do you go on the road a lot where you're like, like every weekend I'm in a new city and I'm doing comedy clubs and I'm drinking and I'm hanging out all night?
I love the road. I do love the road, but I like the road in places I like going.
Right.
I like DC. I like Virginia. I like Cleveland, Ohio. I like Denver, Colorado.
Like real cities.
Just real cities where I know it's going to go up. And there's certain places you go where it's a party. You're like, we're going to Denver. We're about to turn up. And then certain times you're like, we're going to Huntsville, Alabama. I'm just going to chill in the room. It's really
I guess
like
also everyone's coming out to see you. So you're just showing up in a city and everyone's going to love you, no matter like whether you have 20 people there or an arena.
Yeah, you're going to figure it out. But the road by yourself? Oh, yeah, the road by yourself is horrible.
Right. And if you're in a relationship, right, because that's going to end instantly.
I'm in a relationship now. I'm on the road. It's going good. But I think because I did so much time on the road.
You already did this, right?
Yeah.
Like you've been doing stand-up how long?
Man, I'm 32. I started doing stand-up when I was 16. Like,
shit.
For real, when I was 18. But first open mic, 16.
Wow. See?
Do you think you did it just because it's the family business or half the family business?
No, I did it because it was, my mom looked at me one day when I was in high school. She was just like, why don't you have any after school activities? And so I just looked up the open mic. And then it was like really just a plan for me to be able to stay out late and smoke weed with my friends. And like, go past curfew. And it kind of morphed into a career.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's a good-
Yeah, that's fucking amazing.
That's dope. It
Yeah.
kind of like wasn't even. It was effortless.
Yeah, it was more so, you get that age when you're a kid, when you're like a teenager and you're trying to explain your side of the story and no one wants to hear you. They're just like, shut up. I was like, okay, I could do comedy and I could tell jokes and everyone just has to listen to me. And if they laugh at the end of it, then that means they agree with me. So
Right.
now I have this outlet of like, I don't
you're
have
in
to,
an echo chamber.
Yeah, I don't really have
Yeah.
to, act out the way I was before because now I have this outlet. And yeah, now I get to really hang. I can hang out later with my friends, blah, blah, blah. They're coming to the shows with me. It just made, 11th through 12th grade a lot
Dude,
more.
and you get, you get the best positive attention, right?
And
you're
also
the guy
you're
on
so-
stage.
yeah.
Every girl wants to talk to you. Everyone looks at you like, yo, the big number one fear in the world is public speaking, right?
Yeah.
So like watching you be up there is more brave than like a firefighter to some people, right?
And your social
They're
IQ goes up, and you're ready for your mid-20s, right? So then you get to talk to people a certain way. You get sharper.
Yeah, my first job was I was the greeter at like Ripley's Aquarium in Myrtle Beach. I was the guy who had to stop people and greet them and take the picture when they came in. So talking to strangers, that was always kind of it was normal to me. I don't really like it as much anymore because now I can just talk to large groups of people at once and then just go home.
And get paid for it. And get paid for it.
I don't have to see you guys for like another 2 weeks. I did like 6 shows tonight.
It's wild because we were talking about this obviously before the fucking cameras were rolling again, but like we were discussing just making content and how different the game has become. It seems to me that there's a lot of people that are becoming comedians that probably aren't as good as they portray themselves on the internet.
Oh my God, so many people.
Dude, just
here
everyone's
just-
dropping a crowd work special now.
Yeah.
Which
That's
like,
when you know you've run out of
because
everything
I'm
to talk
like,
about.
I get it. You're not trying to give away your material before the inevitable Netflix special.
I'm at the point now where I just realized Netflix isn't coming.
Is YouTube the move? I think it is. I think it's like, once again, like Spotify, right? It's like the easiest barrier of entry for fans, right? And like your goal is what? To sell tickets, to do theaters,
Yes.
to maybe do arenas, right? So wouldn't you want the maximum amount of eyes on whatever jokes you're peddling?
I'm not a numbers guy.
Right.
When I'm on the road,
You need a Jew.
yeah, yeah, that's probably
yeah,
what it is. Like,
yeah.
I'm really not a numbers guy. I like moving in things that aren't really tangible. So, I see the numbers moving all the
Right.
time, slowly. I went from comps to ticket sales.
Right. I was gonna like, is that like I worked at Caroline's,
Yeah.
right? Like in the city, so it was cool to watch certain acts build over time. And I always like wonder, like every city you come back, you're like, oh shit, like there's a little bit more bodies here this time. The
Yeah,
ticket
so
prices are
now-
expensive.
Yeah, so just like no one wants the slow build anymore. So yeah, it's all numbers. It's all social media. It's all putting
Everybody wants
things
instant. Yeah,
up
everything is instant.
and just trying to catch the algorithm and go. Me, I don't like to get caught up in that. What I like to tell people is any social media guy that you see blow up that sold out the Improv this week, just before the show starts, go and look at the line. Go look at the people lined up. Do you even want them at your show? Are y'all even competing for the same people? Like so many people just see the, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. And I don't give a fuck what anybody else is doing.
Right. As long as your
Which is a
shit's
good
moving.
thing. It's
Yeah.
good to be like that in the society that we're in right now, because I'll be honest with you, even when we look at rap, right?
Yeah.
Or we look at any kind of subcategory, just because of the phone and the internet, everything's saturated, and there's a bunch of people that shouldn't be in places that they're in.
Yeah,
If we really look at it, right?
Yeah, the internet is an insane place.
Everything's rated by how stupid, how quick it is, and how like simple it may be, right? So that's kind of like the three.
But there's
factors.
it's exactly what he said, is there's no more slow build, right? They want instant. And it's like, it's hard to even tell a 10-minute joke anymore because people want it, the hook within 3 seconds. Otherwise the attention span is a scroll,
Yeah.
right? Like,
That's bad.
But I think there's ways to, we're going to have to adjust to the game. Like, it's not going to go backwards, so we're going to have to figure it out. I do see everyone, like you said, people are definitely not as funny as they portrayed themselves online. I see a lot of people that I see a clip of theirs. I see a lot of people at the Laugh Factory sometimes where I'm like, yo, I'm watching this person on stage
And they just fucking.
and they're doing the joke and it's not good. No, they're doing a set. It's not good. They have one good joke out of it. They cut it, tune up the laughs,
Right.
bring
and all
it
of a
up
sudden it's
little
like
bit.
Netflix worthy.
And that thing goes viral next week. And I'm just like, yo, but I was there.
Right, you haven't. That's the crazy part because you did the editing in post to trim the fat to make that joke better. It's like, dude, why don't you just do that joke better live? And once you do it and you see it truly hits, then post it.
But no. These days, it's
Dude, this whole episode's gonna get clipped up right into like
I was just about to
the biggest clickbaity highlight. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's the nature of.
That's the manipulation of social media, right?
I think
It's like
is.
everyone feels like they got to play the game.
You got to market.
Because you know what it is? Content is really the only last thing America has, man. It's all we have. There's no one wants to go to work anymore. Everyone wants to do this. Everyone just wants to talk aimlessly. And
that's why, it's crazy you just said that.
Yeah.
It's really,
I mean, like,
if this
when
is
I
the
say
last thing
that-
we have. We
I
got to
say,
be
like,
out of here. bro.
Like literally,
it's really our last
like
export.
does this need to exist? Essentially, right? It
Yes.
doesn't.
Yes,
I
it
mean, I
does.
guess it does.
People need to kill time, and they need people that look like them to entertain them.
Dude, that's the wildest part. Is like people who listen. This podcast is like nothing.
No, this is the greatest podcast ever. This is
Yo,
Ugly
he says
on the
that to
Inside,
all-
the
Shout
coolest
it
podcast
out,
in
baby.
the world.
He says this to all the podcasts. Dude, and it's just like, why does this need to exist? And then you find out like 7 truckers are like, oh man, like this
It's my
gets me-
favorite thing.
It gets me through the day, you guys. And you're just like, really? And then, yeah.
What do you think is the future, though? Since we already just identified what's going on, I want to know what you think this shit is heading.
Oh,
to.
you know what I think is going to happen? I think there's going to be... What's really going to happen is it's going to go the way it's going, and then in like 30 years, there's going to be some kids that are just like, yo, this shit is lame.
And then what happens?
And then
we're gonna have
we
to
go back to
machine
long
gun all the
form.
corporate offices.
We go back. We kind of like start stretching back into long form, like slowly over time. I feel like even like social media and on.
Oh, you mean like
phone-
content? Oh, I thought you meant just like as a society.
Oh yeah, I mean
That
like,
if we had,
I mean, society
if we
and
had a
content.
great reset, would be so great, right?
what?
Like where
What's a good
dude,
idea for a great
Okay, so
reset?
do you watch the show Alone or Outlast on Netflix?
No.
It's about
No.
it's just basically a bunch of white people that go to Alaska and have to like survive like alone. Like they don't have no other contact and they got whoever lasts the longest wins $1 million. And they only bring like 10 things with them and there's like bears and snow and it's just crazy. And you're just sitting there and being like, dude, this happened like 150 years
My
ago.
grandparents.
Like, how do we go from that to the iPhone? Right? And it's like, could we start over and maybe just be like, let's just stay in that MySpace era a little longer?
So like technology progresses and the human degresses.
I think
Right?
Yeah.
what I think happens is in about 20, 30 years, we start seeing the real side effects of social media and staring down at our phone. People getting humps and
I
back
see it already
problems.
Right, but
feeling
do you
weird
think we'll
neck
blame
pain.
that or we'll just like be like, oh, it's like some other fucking dumb political agenda of the time? We
Yeah.
won't even realize that that's because of
mean,
the
that's
fucking-
But
what it
it'll
is.
split. I think it'll split. It'll be kids that are like, yo, we off this. They're gonna be tired of being ignored by their parents. They're gonna grow up with a mom that was in their phone their whole life. And they're just gonna be like, yo, we off this.
And they're like, yo, I
More
want
therapists are
to
gonna
be
be treating
oppressed by my corporate master. I don't want to be an influencer.
yeah, they're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna
I'd
put
run 9 to 5.
We're gonna put a fucking iPhone on we're gonna put an Apple Watch on to get our messages, and we're gonna go back to just like being people. That's what I think might
Right.
happen.
It's
That's my optimism.
Every time I ask these, I have a barbershop in Brooklyn. I work as a barber. So every time I ask all the clients in the barbershop, I'm like, yo, so what do you guys think? Everyone's like, yeah, but look how much we've grown. Look how much progress we've made.
No, those are the people.
Look how much money
I mean, there's
we've
like
making.
bad progress too, right?
So they use that, and then it's kind of negates all the negative, right? So they're like, "What do you mean, guys? This is great. We gave you guys a phone. You guys."
I mean,
communicate
look,
with your
I do
family."
view the idea that like in today's society, more people can go do whatever the fuck they want and make a lot of money.
Yes.
Right? Because like my parents thought that the only thing I could ever do is, they were shocked I wanted to be an animator for Disney. Because that's all I wanted to be growing up. And they were like, that's not safe. Right? But now, right. To them, the concept of like, oh, I can just review toys on YouTube with my 7-year-old and make 20 million. There is some
But then you're stripping the 7-year-old from his childhood, right? Because then you're like work.
who has
like,
a better
work.
childhood.
What do you mean? I had a pretty great childhood.
Yeah, but imagine you had
Imagine
20
if you
million.
could just unbox your toys and make
20 million
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah, but you see, now everything's just based around money. But what about just the simple, like you said,
Yeah,
the
but you
non-tangible
want-
things,
you
the
said
things
you
that are
would
just
do
But it's
simple.
all money now, man. That's
Everything you
that's
want
how-
to do.
That's how the world could work.
Right.
That's not how it
Listen,
works.
I don't
though.
disagree with you
But the
guys. I
world
don't
works
disagree
on
with
envy too, right? So if we all were equal and we just were like, oh, happiness can't exist without me
Not if
also being jealous or feeling above someone else.
Well,
right?
people in LA want you to not be like that, though. They want you to be sympathetic and
No,
empathetic.
money drives everything happy that happens in my life.
That's
Money's
dark.
attached. I'm not saying that's not. No. Like I can
That's
have
capitalism,
Dude,
man.
like,
That's the side effects of
I'm
capitalism.
having a good time with you guys, but it's costing me money. Right? The lights are on. Kyle's getting paid. You're getting paid. The electric bill's going. Right?
The 7-year-old unboxing video or doing unboxing videos is dark too.
No, but
That's
he
what
has
I'm
no
trying to say.
idea he's working. I do.
Yes.
At 7,
Oh,
he's
my
unboxing
God.
videos.
So just because the kid has no idea he's working, that doesn't mean it's not dark. That you
Dude, there's 7-year-olds that are working in delis to help their families, right? You could have a shittier childhood working. Might as well unbox toys sent to you by some fake,
guess.
Santa.
Yeah.
They don't know what that trauma is until later.
Right.
It's okay.
But you have the money to deal
It's
with
okay.
that trauma.
They'll figure it out later on.
Yeah, they can.
Right?
Yeah,
What's that
they
line?
can help
Would you rather cry in
I
a
guess
Maybach
they'll have a
or
lot.
Toyota?
Yeah. I guess
right?
they'll have a
Yeah.
lot of money for therapists.
I'd rather
right?
cry in a Maybach.
Yeah, they'll have money for therapists, for some good therapists down the line.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, Macaulay Culkin is doing better than most other kids who probably had like abusive parents.
Yeah, man. I don't like how they try to say stars fell off or anything. I'm like, what's wrong with making a few $1 million in like 5 years and then going back to making $100,000 for the rest of your life?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
I'm like, yo, that's
Remember
normal.
him? You guys remember Jonathan Taylor
Yes,
Thomas?
Jonathan
JTT.
Taylor Thomas.
Every
No.
girl wanted to fuck him. He did Home Improvement, did Simba, and got the fuck out.
Yeah, he really.
And I think he got like a college degree, and now it just makes like crazy royalties because it's from the era of television. You know, that thing, Home Improvement's still on, like in Russia.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I haven't heard that name in forever.
I
but
wonder where he's at.
He was in every trailer on every
He's gonna come
Disney VHS.
He's going to come
You think
back.
he's gonna make a
Yeah,
comeback?
JTT, they're going to drag him out when they'll be like, yo, do you want to do something again? And he'll come out of the woodwork.
What about the Jonas Brothers? One of the Jonas Brothers does real estate now. He made all the Disney money and just bounced. Now he's fucking
Yo, every
flipping cribs.
time, that's normal to me, man. I got like another 15 in me, and then I'm gonna make some money and go buy 4 Wawas, and everybody's gonna be like, "Where's Jordan?" I'm gonna be like, "Yo, that Wawa."
I want in. I love Wawa.
As Jordan.
Can I get in on the Wawa?
And be just in the
get it,
parking lot
yo.
with your boys.
Yo,
just
that'd be
chilling,
a great
right?
way if we all disappear and just dude, Wawa is
Yo, you
Yeah,
know
that's
that
a-
Wawa off the Palisades when you leave in Jersey?
Fire.
Yeah.
Yo, that's my homie's Wawa. That's Jordan's Wawa.
dude,
up,
that's
pull up.
way better than like, hey, do you want to go see Jordan do stand up at the Cellar or be like, yo, I got a plug at the Wawa.
Yeah.
Not everyone has a plug at the Wawa.
I'm trying to do both.
You could do
That's
both.
a fact.
Yeah,
But at some
both.
point,
I
are you
think-
going to stop doing stand up or are you going to do that forever?
I think I'm gonna do stand up forever, but
Right.
I think I'm just gonna get it to where I can control it, to where I don't have to do stand up all
To
the
rely on
time.
it.
Yeah,
Because it's a hobby at that point.
yeah, to where it's like 6 months of the year I do stand up. I could take time off and go write or find inspiration or travel and then
And make stories and
Yeah.
then come back
Yep.
without having to pay your bills.
Yep.
Yeah, which is fire. Yeah, that's the goal.
we're close. We're
Could
close.
I get your opinion on the writer's strike? And like, obviously, you worked with Netflix. You did Love. Like, do those shows, like, is that kind of shit in your old contract, or you're like, hey, I did the show, I get paid, and I get nothing on the back end for it?
We get residuals. The residuals are they're what they are, but they could definitely be better since they're making
Right.
so much more money and they're just giving us the straps.
Right.
So I definitely understand the strike of just, wanting to have fair wages, wanting to actually not have to play a game with with like health insurance every year. You have to make certain hours to like every year to, get health benefits. Where it's like, so I had health insurance this year, but this year I wasn't working like
Right.
that. So now I'm off. And
now you're being-
next,
yeah.
yeah.
Right. So you're kind of like you obviously want to be working,
yes, I would.
but you can't because of the strike. But also, you're like, these same people also kind of give up on me sometimes.
yes.
Right. It's just kind of.
I'm at a point where I'm just happy I have stand up. So I'm gonna just lean into being a stand up and trying to work on reintroducing myself to everyone. Because like you said, you know me as an actor. A lot of people just know me as an actor or just in passing in a few movies. So I'm just trying to tie the knot on everything. So
right. But having that acting credit is so dope because that is like a driving force because people are like, oh, that's the dude from that thing, right? Like, I didn't know that the fucking guy from Ted Lasso does stand-up.
Yo, he's funny as
right,
can be.
right? And you're just like, oh, I want to go see him now because it's like, I love that shit versus like, you know, you could just have a credit of like once on Comedy Central presents, right? You're like, all right, whatever. Like having a TV credit, I think is so.
Yeah, it is beneficial. But still, that's the
great.
thing. Even during the strike, I feel like we can still work. I
Yeah,
feel
like you write?
Right, yeah, writers still write. So
You just can't pitch? Like, what is the strike prevent you from doing? Like,
you
what
can't pitch anything right now.
But you could just sit there and stockpile.
Yes.
Right, but essentially you're just not making money through those channels for this period of time.
No.
Right, but do they if they buckle, is there back pay? Or are they like,
no
oh,
idea. I really would have to read more into it. I'm very surface level on the strike.
Got it.
Every day I'm learning something new. I think we could definitely strike a little better.
I like how Chappelle made fun of the strike. He said
he made fun of the strike the same reason he said it.
Yeah.
Hey, we just saw Dave last week, and he basically said, he's like, they wanted me to strike with them, and he's like, dude, where were you
when I needed you?
When I needed you, you guys
That's a
didn't
fact.
strike when I left for Africa, and also you
right.
guys dropped me from insurance.
Yep.
Yeah.
When I needed insurance.
He's right.
He's like, now you need me.
He's right. That's
And
a
it's
fact.
like,
It's you guys are beat now. Like, what's up with that? Well, I gotta be loyal to you, but you guys are like throwing dirt on my name like that. That's not cool, right?
and also like I feel like there's a writer's strike they need to do a better job of like getting all their shit together and then doing this like a little more.
I think three things can definitely add to the writer's strike. We have to stop respecting the red lights. All the writer strikes are very polite. Every time the light switches, they get out the way. They don't.
Oh
really,
yeah,
they don't really
writer.
They don't really cause a commotion. Like protests are supposed to be inconvenient. So I would say stay in the street a little bit longer.
So you're giving us the commandments for what the
I think they
better strike right now.
They need to turn it up.
So on the other side of that argument, though,
Take your Rolex off.
All I want to do is run over all of them.
Yeah, me too. I can't stand
because I'm like, look, I get that you are not getting paid enough, but that's not my fault, and you're making me late by.
And also, I'm not a victim.
Trap.
Yeah, and I also don't have that victim shit in me where I'm gonna be over here pouting with you like too long. I need to make money.
You
I
guys
gotta
need
make
to
moves.
just take over the Netflix office, like or like Inconvenience CEOs of all these.
Exactly.
But like hitting the general public, I'm like, I already pay $16 a month for Netflix. Like I'm giving the money, it's not reaching you.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Don't also make me late.
Like show up to Warner Bros and crack somebody.
Dude,
somebody
if I
has to get
found out
cracked
a
at
bunch
least
of
once.
writers took over the Warner Brothers lot, I would be like,
if a bunch of writers took over the Warner Brothers lot, they'd never make another Warner Brothers film in their life.
and then live stream it and sell it.
See, I agree. It has to be more aggressive. Like somebody has to fight somebody. Somebody
has to be a martyr, is what you're saying. So there has to be a writer martyr.
Has to go down. Unfortunately, they say violence equals more violence, but
no, I'm not advocating for violence. At all.
I'm not saying we should advocate
I would
for
still
violence.
like to be.
No,
on
I'm pro.
Nah, I'm not saying. I'm not trying to say we should. We're like to go fucking kill somebody or something like that. But I just feel like setting an example works.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean, at the end of the day, one side's just gonna buckle, right?
Somebody has to go spray paint the Warner Brothers water tower or something.
Listen, I'm just saying. I'm not saying we should do anything too aggressive, but I think when I was taught back in Ukraine, like when somebody did something bad and they got hurt, we're like, oh shit, we're not doing that no more. Like we're not touching that no more. Like we can't go there. Like it's not gonna happen no more.
Right. Or also then educate the general public, right? Because I just assume everyone who's been on Netflix is a millionaire. Right, so you just because you're like everyone has Netflix, they make so much money.
No, you find out everybody gets paid $1,000 that week, and a few after.
They need to start letting the general public understand that they're like half of these people is like a blue collar job.
People always say to me, "You're famous." I'm like, no, I was in a show. I was on something. I'm known. I'm not like I'm barely known, but I'm like I'm not famous. Famous King Batch is famous, you know. Desi Banks is
Right,
famous.
but they just
Drewski is famous.
Right, they just still think that they
When you
see
come
you
on
on the
TV.
screen, you're on that show. They're like, this dude has to be making so much money.
You know what I do enjoy about the writer's strike, though? I do, and the SAG strike. I just enjoy everyone admitting that they're broke.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
like that too.
'cause
I wish it would happen to the influencer
Yeah.
market.
But we kind of knew that, though.
You know,
we kind of,
the key
because I
word
see
is
them at the
kinda.
coffee spots. I know that.
The key word is kinda. You kinda knew. You like had your suspicion. You know, like
That's
you
a fact,
kinda
that's a
had
fact.
like you were like
Right.
maybe. But I like that everyone's like, man, I don't even have health insurance. I'm like, oh, I thought it was just me, dog. Okay, we all in this together.
But you see, that's what I meant about those careers. It's like you got to really put away that 5 to 10 years
Well,
to
yeah, Val, it's
really.
an art, right? Like any art you do
Right.
has to be.
That's the compromise.
Dude, it's like being a brain surgeon, right? If it was like easy to do in a year, everyone would sign up for it.
True.
So it's just like,
I guess it's that New Yorker hustler in me. That's kind of like I always have that side.
right, but you just
I
did
wanna
10
make
years
money.
of being a barber, right? If you just applied that to like an art, right? Because how famous could you become being a barber, right? What's the most famous barber? They don't even have TV shows for barbers, right? Or they have
The
every
Shop.
other.
Yeah.
The shop.
No, they don't even have barbers
The
in-
shop. The shop is being carried by LeBron and like.
But that
everyone-
famous kid that does the
Isn't that the
conversation
show, the shop.
That is-
yeah.
Yeah. But that kid that does the big, he has millions and millions of followers
No,
on
I'm
TikTok.
talking about they don't even have a TV show for barbers, right? They have one
Yeah,
for
but right
everyone
now,
now.
nowadays TV shows don't really signify much. To be
No,
honest,
but I
with
just
you. Drewski
mean-
doesn't have a TV show, but he's famous as fuck,
I
right?
just mean
Yes.
if you took the 10
Am
years,
I
You're
correct?
I just mean if you took the 10 years of barbering and did 10 years of stand up,
I understand.
you would
but I'm
be
saying if
a
I
much-
invested
you-
that
'cause-
time, I know.
right? You would be a great stand up comic, just like you're a great barber.
Right.
The problem is there's no
The problem is you
barber
don't know
pay.
if you have any money at all. You
Right.
can be a great stand-up comic and
Can
still
you be
broke.
Can you be broke and be a great stand up comic?
Oh hell
All day.
yeah!
Look at all the stand-up comics.
No, but I feel like what is it? Just a great stand-up comic behind closed doors, or like is there a chance that Daniel Tosh is broke? No, because he has
Yeah, but
Comedy
you're
Central
also
money.
comparing a guy that
No,
had
but I mean, like-
specials and had like.
Okay, so who's a great comic that could be broke? That what is there just not known that they're great, or they're like
the hustle is just not there. They're
I
not
think the
putting out-
hustle, it's a New York hustle. The New York hustle, or like just comics get complacent where they are. So some people are great comics and they could make a lot more money. They just choose to not leave. They choose to not, go and break even on the road for a year to show people how fire they are, so it could take them to the next thing.
Well, that's what like they always used to say that about Patrice, right? Like
Yeah.
he was his own worst enemy. Like he didn't want to play the game. Like he was a legend, right? A great comic,
Yeah.
but
He's a beast, yeah.
but
But
got in his
Drewski-
own
but
way
you see-
every time.
You see Drewski, he didn't go on stage. He never did stage stuff.
He just went on tour.
He just but I'm saying I'm,
he do stand-up
I'm talking
now?
about prior.
No, he's not doing stand up. He's doing like the Coulda records.
Yeah.
Okay.
Live.
So he's just doing like he took his basically Instagram live thing to like a actual physical
Oh,
place.
cool.
So now when he was doing the talent shows during COVID, it turned into like a very funny thing. So then he kind of turned it into like a series on YouTube, and then he does like a live show performance too. Where
Oh,
he
that's
kinda,
dope.
which is dope.
I fuck with that.
Which is
like
dope.
I said,
He
I'm
converted
just
it.
more. I love watching. Like I'm a big hater, so like on Reddit, it's funny watching people be like, "Oh, this person's podcasting is like huge, right? They're like number 7 on Patreon. They're like number 20 on iTunes everywhere. Everyone listens to them, and then you're like, all the comments are like, dude, why did this person get a special? And you're like, I get why they got a special. It's a numbers game again.
Yeah.
But you're like, this person shouldn't be doing stand up.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of timing magic. There's a lot of things.
That's
that
why I
go
respect
into it.
Drewski for doing his own thing without being like, I'm just gonna. It's hard to also grow up to try to imagine to do stand up. You can't practice it, right?
Yeah.
So practicing happens on stage. It's the only craft that you practice in public.
Yes.
If Drewski wanted to start doing stand up, or I wanted to start doing stand up, there is a level of like, obviously he has more eyes on him than I do, but essentially he has to exercise in public.
Yes, and people want to see you fail when you're that
Right,
big,
right.
too,
So it's like, it's almost better to come from nowhere, obscurity, and then be like, I popped.
Yes.
Then to be like, I'm now gonna try and be a stand-up comic.
Yeah, that's usually that's
Which
like
is wild because I probably have the confidence now to do stand-up, but I'm just like, I don't want to fucking just be sad
Dude,
every day.
you have-
My DMs, I'd be suicidal.
No, this is it. You don't. It's not even that you like the confidence. You have the followers to be a stand-up comic.
That's what I'm trying to
That's-
say.
You
yeah,
could
but
definitely be like.
but I would feel disingenuous because I love your guys' job so much.
Would you rather wear a fake Louis book bag or a real
that would just mean like
A real
But
one.
here's the thing: you would just.
I'd rather wear a real Louis.
all you would do is host. All you would do is host. You just come.
I don't
out-
want to be. I don't want to be a permanent host.
No, you wouldn't be a permanent host because you get funnier, and then you could leave. Then you could be like,
I think
oh,
if
do
I
15.
just did like an Assholes Live Forever comedy night every month at a comedy club in LA,
yeah,
and I'll do 30 seconds.
Well, you know,
I'm
what
gonna
you could
have
do?
all you guys right.
yes,
You know what you could do?
And then we just put together a comedy show.
exactly. That's how.
There you go.
That's how it goes.
Or you could do one of those things like almost like a Drewski
It's
approach,
just be
right?
embarrassing, dude. It's like
No.
working out with your friend who's in shape, right? You're just like, I feel like a fat fuck. Like,
I have a clip of.
I don't need Jordan behind the scenes being like, wow, that Kirill guy, like, ooh, stick to clothing, right?
Why? Who cares? He will say that for 6 months, and then
I know.
on the
I'll be
7th month,
sad.
he'll
I'll
be
be
like,
sad.
"Yo, you fuck with him."
I don't want my, the people that I love to shit on the thing, to feel like I'm shitting on the thing that they love.
I have a clip in my phone of Machine Gun Kelly doing stand up in Denver.
Is it terrible?
No, we wrote his jokes.
Oh,
We were like, yo, we need to make sure you're good, bro. We were like, whenever someone is trying to do stand up, that's like a homie that's just gonna make an appearance and get the
right.
fuck out the
Well,
way.
you guys help with you obviously.
Yeah, you say, yo, don't worry about time. Get 3 laughs and get the fuck out of there.
Did he do well?
Yeah.
His delivery still had to be good though.
Is,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it online somewhere or no?
I'll show it to you in a second.
Oh.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I let my girl do stand up. My girl did stand up at our going away party in New York.
Yeah, but I feel like that's like those are sympathy laughs because everyone's already just kind of like, oh, we love you. Like no one's gonna be like, boo, right? Like
Yeah, no.
people are gonna boo.
So what do
me.
you think
Those are
about-
comedy nerds, and they're like, it's Kirill. He's a troll already on the internet. So like, he better knock it out of the.
You think it's gonna be worse than Steve-O?
the Steve-O bad stand up?
I mean, Steve-O does stand up.
Right, but he's also just people are mesmerized by him.
Okay.
Right, he's still like, well,
No,
that's-
people are mesmerized.
But
by
at the
you,
worst
man.
case, yeah. But if Steve-O bombs, he'll just grab a stapler and put it in his forehead, and they all laugh again. I don't have what
Which
am I?
is
Yo,
listen,
you just break
I
out a
give
bottle of
shit.
champagne, bro.
I'm like, oh, that joke.
I mean,
didn't
that's
hit?
part of the
Oh,
game.
Yo, you're the modern day Gallagher, yo. You're like,
right.
Yo, he really is a
Yo, you
Gallagher.
could
That's
just,
a
I
fact.
should
you
just
could
do
just
Gallagher
come out
3.
every show, just spray the bottle, spray the crowd, give the crowd a champagne shower, and start the show.
People will be so sick with the fucking champagne all over them. That shit's so nasty. The whole
Yeah,
show.
they're
went
like, the
hour and a
show's disgusting and not funny, and now I'm wet.
half. Oh man, everyone answer
I should
calling
just
on the
start
mission.
stopping my parties at midnight and just be like, give me the mic and just do 5 minutes.
Yo, Dave Chappelle does that at every party he ever
Really?
has. Yeah, he gets on the microphone, stops the music, and talks for about like.
Right, but people care, right? He could sit there and fart into the mic, and everyone in the room's like, we're witnessing gold.
He
Maybe I've
converted
been
it
to-
into that though.
I've been to too many Chappelle parties. I'm like, get the music back
Oh,
on.
no, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. You start getting
I'm gonna start doing
desensitized.
that. I'm going to start doing that.
You should.
No,
I
you're-
should just start
no,
doing
you're not.
stuff.
I want you to, but you're not.
I have to write some jokes about nightclubs, I guess. Make
Yeah.
them relatable. Everyone's on drugs anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's on drugs at the comedy.
But you
store.
think
I
the
like, that
first
you're
night-
I like that you're welcoming it to your craft because I would, if you were like, I want to be a photographer, I'd be like, please don't.
It's too. Yeah, my eye sucks, but yeah, it's yeah. I'm play ball these days, man. Get the money.
But you think the first night that you do that and they go, shut the fuck up, put
I
the
cry.
music back on.
I
You're
cry.
gonna start crying.
I literally,
Maybe in New York. Maybe
I
not
might
that
Cardi
LA.
B it. I'd probably throw a microphone. I'd be like, "What?" But I'd get if I'm drunk. I'd be like, I'd instantly be like, "Get me scared." I'd make sure that person's night is
You
ruined.
see, you're so soft.
But I'll
Let that
do
shit
it.
get you
But
so
maybe,
upset.
but maybe I'll do it into the mic, so then the rest of the crowd is like, "Woo."
Nah, you can't be soft. You got to be like, you shut the fuck
The
up.
problem is I'm
Nah,
just like,
it's weird. Stand up. It's like, yo, you got when you be mean on stage, it has to be so like fucking.
Of course, you have to
I
come.
don't. It's so weird being mean on stage.
Godfrey's
because-
good at it.
Oh my God,
Godfrey's
'cause
very good at mean on stage.
you have to be mean and nice nice and funny at the same time. You got to be three things. If you're just like, yo, fuck you, the whole
No, it
crowd
can't
would be
be like that,
the
Otto.
whole
Right.
crowd.
Yo,
would
I
be like, yo,
watched-
did he?
Because it
drop
got
his-
serious, yeah.
Did he drop his mask just now? Who is
Yeah.
this guy? Is he a murderer?
Yeah.
I watched a guy in LA make a handicapped girl cry in the middle of the show.
I remember.
It
this.
was like
Crazy.
it was this fucking outdoor comedy show, Supernova.
Yeah.
Whatever that is in LA.
Round.
Dope fucking thing. It's around the guy who puts it together, Mark Hay, one of those fucking Marks.
Hayes?
I think it might have been him. I don't want to say it's him, but it was just someone like his birthday, and it was his thing. And the whole show, there's like that girl, that handicapped Barbie looking girl, front row. And this dude goes up. They're like, all right, it's his birthday. We're going to bring him up and let him do 5 minutes at the end. And he does like 3 minutes. And then he just asks her, he's like, hey, you'd probably be fun to fuck because your legs are dead. Right? And this girl just instantly starts crying. And you're like, this comic doesn't have the skills how to walk that back.
Yeah.
Because he announces to the crowd, she starts crying, and she goes, everyone's been saying this to me my whole life, and it's
Everybody's been saying they should fuck her.
no, that my legs don't work, and I probably have a weird vagina, blah, blah, blah. She's like, and everything works, and it's just triggering, and blah, blah, blah. She's weeping. Everyone is in shock. And then he starts going, hey, we'll make it better. Everybody, let's Venmo her money.
Wow. It's crazy.
And this
Start a
went on.
GoFundMe?
This went on for 3 fucking minutes, dude. And it was the most uncomfortable situation, and it was so beautiful to watch. Because as a comedy fan, like anytime someone is bombing like that,
You love
you're
watching
like,
houses burn.
well, it's like a car accident.
Yeah,
It's not
it
long.
really is.
Dude,
In the back of the room, like,
do you know what they
This is
say?
why there's so
Do you know
much
what
traffic because of people like you.
You know what they say? If you're being you're not supposed to yell for help. You're supposed to yell fire because more people will ignore the cry for help, but they're interested in seeing the fire.
wow.
That's why
So
people
it's-
record everything.
Right.
When
So I'm
there's
like,
shit going on.
dude, that shit happens. That's like watching a fucking car fire.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God,
fucked up.
I love bad comedy almost more than good comedy.
See, I like it when I'm not on the show.
Oh no shit! Of course.
I hate bad comedy when I'm next.
Yeah, because then you have to
Do you
revive
think
the whole
that's
crew.
easier or harder to go on after a shitty comic or a great comic?
Oh, it's way harder to go on after a great comic.
Right.
It's easy to go off a bad comic because you have cushion. They just saw somebody bad, so you tell a punch. You got a punchline, a setup.
And you could shit on the comic before you.
I was just gonna ask you: have you ever got on and be like, "Damn, that guy was whack"?
Yo,
like, what the fuck was that?
me myself personally, I am not that guy. But when I do Productively Stoned shows with my boy Reg Thomas,
Yeah.
Reg Thomas always roasts the dude. If they don't do good on the show, he's like, "This nigga wanna come do this shit on my show." Like, that's crazy. He's like,
Yeah, but
"Yo,"
that's an
like-
easy laugh.
I love that.
That's such an easy laugh because if someone bombs, the tension is like, oh my God,
Best.
can someone please acknowledge it? Like you're all whispering it. And if someone comes on and goes, yo, that dude fucking blew, you're like,
Came all
oh
the way
my
from.
God.
He'll be tell him where they came all the way from Philly with that bullshit. God
Yeah,
damn,
which is great
dude.
because then you'd be like, and now he fucked me up,
Dude, it
And
worked. I saw Andrew Schultz. He had a show at Gotham. It was his show, but they were like, ladies and gentlemen, we have a pop-in from Seinfeld. And you're like, whoa, this is fucking wild. Seinfeld did 10 minutes. And then you're like, Schultz is like, oh my God, like I'm going to have to follow him. And so Schultz goes up and just does 5 minutes ripping apart Seinfeld sneakers and just destroys the room.
Good.
And I'm like, that's, you just got to go
have
shit
to
on
bounce it off.
You
That was
have to
Great.
go shit.
That was a great target to shit on.
Yeah, because you're like, dude, you have all this money and those are the shoes you bought.
It's like my girl when she's very upset. I gotta bounce back.
Because he couldn't have been like, yo, you all like that?
Yeah, it's like Seinfeld. How do I follow him? Instead of being like, yo, my man, you have $100 million and you're wearing the same shoes that the guy in the corner is.
That's how you got to do it. You got to when
You got to have the
when-
balls, I guess, to rip it.
Well, you also got to know how to flip it. You just got to know how to flip it. You just got to turn, the situation into something
someone
brighter.
kills in front of me, I just my first 2 minutes are really just giving them props. I want their applause to like seep into like the beginning. I'm like, yo, give it up for. Yo, they did the joke about yo, that was hilarious. I'm in the back like, yo.
You start doing the joke.
Yeah. Yo, give it up for them one more time. God damn. All right.
All right, that's my time.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm like, okay, cool, joke.
That's good. That's there's a formula, right?
Yeah.
There's a tactic to everything. To me, comedy is mental chess. Yeah. It's just like, also it's like, when you bag up girls, there's also a method to that too. There's ways to relate.
Crossover, you
Correct.
set it up the same time every time.
Yes,
you're
sir.
like, oh, she biting.
Yep.
Correct.
Exactly. It's kind of the same, honestly. There's like a lot of
It really is. It's like a crossover.
Yes,
it's
sir.
like landing the 900 in Tony Hawk. It's like once you learn, it's like the first one is always hard.
Correct.
Tony Hawk
And then
Pro
you got
Skater.
it.
Correct.
You got it.
And it's the wildest thing about that crossover between the both of them is like, if you really think about it, the best comedians and the best, guys who probably have talked their way into more pussy than anyone, is that they use the same language that all of us use, right? You guys don't have any unique words.
No.
Right? Like you have the same dictionary that everyone else in the world has. They just choose to put the words together in a different way to make a joke or how to get your fucking pussy wet.
It's the timing, baby.
I think
Right,
It's
but
the
it's all-
timing. It's
but
the
it's
timing.
yeah.
It's timing.
I
It's
mean,
all timing.
if you're a good comic, you don't even need to talk to the girl. She'll come talk to you.
Yeah, if you're a
so
good
if you just
comic-
write good jokes, skip talking to girls.
Yeah, you're caught. Like I was told, like honestly, your jokes are like your wingman.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You're like, but your jokes
Bro,
are like,
as soon
have you
as-
met my friend?
right. And
He's
like,
funny
do
as hell.
you hear the whole crowd cheering for him?
You can have no legs and girl be like, fuck it, you're so funny, I'll fuck you. Like it's just, that's what it is.
as long
It just
as
doesn't
they
matter.
see you getting admiration from other people.
Yeah, comedy, like
Girls are
If you
overvalued.
bomb, no girl's gonna want to sleep.
yeah, when you start getting pussy in comedy, that's when you're like, oh, I'm kind of funny.
That's
That's like the mark. Yeah, that's like the mark. When you start fucking the staff, you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
I'm moving up.
Yeah. Oh my God, she fucked fucking Tim Dillon last week.
Well, girls are very all about value, right? So it's the same thing, right? If you make a lot of money, they fuck you. If you're appreciated by a lot of people and people know you, they fuck you. If you
Yeah,
fucking
he sold out this comedy club.
yes,
They fuck you.
Yeah, they fuck you. Everything is around like how much
You
cool
That is
pay for
such
this
a
dinner?
good-
Yeah.
She might fuck you.
I mean, isn't that might be the scale for everything? The minute you start getting pussy in any industry, you've made it in that industry.
That's the it's like the money they owe you.
right.
correct. You have a lot
That's
of
your
weed on you, they
pension.
fuck you.
Yeah,
That's your,
exactly.
like, thank you. All
Yeah.
right, you put
It's
it
like
to
I
work.
know you were actually I know you should have probably made 1,500 more tonight, but here's some pussy, man.
That's a fact.
That,
That's a
take that
fact.
with you.
You're-
It's priceless.
You're a good time. So I'm gonna fuck you. Oh, you got a lot of coke on you in the club?
Yes.
Fuck you. You know what I mean?
You
So-
could be weed too.
yeah.
It could be
I just said, yeah.
anything.
The weed.
Any
the weed
party
is-
supplies.
Any party supplies works, bro. So it's like girls are just very attached to value. Everything is around value. Doesn't
I
matter.
mean-
you can look like you.
Like me? Yeah, I know.
Damn, man, that was hard.
Yeah, I'm ugly on the outside. Yeah. The only reason I ever got laid was either I
fucking around.
was a popular photographer, and then I was funnier on social media than most of the guys these girls were used to fucking in nightclubs, right? And I, literally is the only reason I got laid. Is I had to excel at whatever industry I tried to do. When I worked in the stand-up side, I never did stand-up, but like the only reason I got laid was I had to start going to nightclubs. I had to start taking
Well, you had to
photos.
build your own value.
And I had to build my own brand. 'Cause
Right.
I was like,
You had to
just
find your
being
place.
just being a graphic designer in the basement of a comedy club, like once in a while, maybe the waitress there would sleep with me just because she was sad that night.
I mean, there's a bunch of right.
Right, because I was like, I'm in this comedy club, and they're over there getting all the pussy on stage.
Yeah.
Right, and then I was in a nightclub, and I was like, oh my god, the DJ's getting all the pussy.
And the
now.
comedy's like, oh, great
And then I'm
banner,
like,
bro.
yeah, that was
Thanks for
like,
the banner.
yeah, cool. So to me, I was like, if I hold a camera and I take photos and I build a dope website and people fuck with it, then that's my stage, and I'll get all those girls.
The guy in the club with the camera is always getting laid.
Oh yeah,
Something about a camera just makes people lose their mind in the club.
Yeah, because they know that on the other side of it, you're gonna make them look dope.
Yeah.
Because right now, the biggest value and the currency is what? Is posts and just fucking content.
That's
and
why
this and
every
that.
photographer is a fucking creep too, right? Because they understand that if I just buy a $300 camera, at least a few more girls are gonna try to fuck me.
Yo, I've been in the club and been like, yo, I don't even think this guy's camera is on.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's not. Half the time my battery was dead.
I don't even think this guy's camera's on. He's
crazy.
just coming into the section,
Pop.
like holding his camera, pretending to take
show like a
pictures,
visual.
and then standing on the couch in the corner.
So what was your number?
Dude, but it gets these cameras, they're getting so small these days. I'll go out and shoot photos at parties on like a little guy, and I'm like, I feel like a real creep because I'm like, they don't even understand. This is not even.
It's not
real.
official enough.
Yeah, there's no big flash hanging off. I'm literally that creep that just goes, and I'm like, hopefully they're okay with it.
Yeah, you're you got to start showing up with an official
It feels
camera.
like it's for you. It's not even for
Yeah,
me.
they're like, is he gonna go jerk off to this later?
You can get away with it for a little while, but I think at 50 you got to bring the big boy.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go.
Yeah, you really do. Yeah, at 50, you got to come in like you've
You
been
gotta come
taking big.
correct.
If I'm still taking photos at parties at 50,
Yo, I did a movie recently with right before the strike with dang, I can't even. There was an actor. He was an old school actor. They had the handheld camera. And he looked at us and he was like, I worked with the guy that created that. I was like, yo, how long have you been in this business?
Oh, nah, yeah. Yeah. Hold on.
I'll see you guys in Times Square with that giant fucking.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, definitely. That guy is always sweet. You gotta. Yeah,
The
you
dude
gotta
is so old.
definitely-
He has the magnifying.
Bro, they make so
Shoot
much
it from
money.
the back.
They make so much $20 a photo. That's probably going to be my retirement plan. I think Times Square.
No, you know what it is. You got to just hire photographers. That's really it. You got to send people in. You got to just put somebody in an assholes live forever shirt and
And just
be
let,
like,
the problem
you're the
is,
guy.
The problem is it's terrifying to let someone else
Have
be
that
the
power?
face of the brand,
Yeah.
right? Someone wearing my biggest fear is someone like someone wearing our merch.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, please don't.
Jesus Christ.
That is immediate. That was as soon as you threw it out there. I was like, oh, that guy would have too much power if you did not show up to the party.
Right.
If you weren't at the party going, yo, get in this corner. Da-da-da-da-da. That guy would black.
With your
Yeah, I
merch,
still,
though-
I also still just don't want to. If I don't want to.
I'm sorry. With your merch, it's possible that can happen, though.
Dude, we
I'll be
just
honest with
have
you.
a string of like small break-ins with our merch. That's it. That's the extent I've seen.
Yo, you know what? Every time I see your merch out in the world, it's a couple. It's like a couple where
Well, it's
like,
almost
both-
like
Same,
it's
yeah.
kind of like a dating app. It's a real life IRL dating app because it's essentially some fat girl goes, "Oh, that guy has the same ideals as I do," and then that fucking ugly guy goes, "Oh shit, that fat girl laughs at fucking all these awful jokes. Let's get together." And that's it. It brings them together.
it definitely is.
It's a weird cult like thing.
It is. It is. It's people love it. They got bags. They
Dude,
got-
it's
I like
the
it.
trashiest thing ever, and I love it. It's almost like I came from Russia to help kind of ruin society a little.
I love it too.
I think it's
Even
fine.
when I wear it, people are like, "Yo,
Dude, you've been rocking that dye hat.
yo, that's
I
my
don't
favorite."
even have the dye hat anymore.
That was my favorite hat. I brought 3 of them. I still have them. Yeah, that was my favorite hat. I wore that. I filmed the
He was
pilot.
repping that.
I filmed a pilot on the Fox lot.
Really?
And like I went there and like just throw it on my sweats and everything, and I put the hat on backwards, and like we're sitting there like at like the run through with the execs, and one of like the chicks just leans up to me. She's like, "You got a lot of balls wearing that here." Yeah, she was like, "You got a lot of balls wearing that here." I thought you were about to
I would just
Was
be
she
like,
turned on
you'd be
by it,
like,
or-
No, I
would just
thought-
play
I-
the black card. I would be like,
Yeah, me
Be
too.
like,
Instantly.
what do you
I'd be like,
think? I
what the
can't
fuck?
work.
You telling
Yeah,
me?
I thought for sure I was about to get fired for sure, but did not happen.
Good. Fuck.
And you didn't get a cease and desist. She didn't call anybody, so
Why she was somebody higher up?
I don't know who she was honestly, but yeah, she just came. They was like the execs are here, and I threw on my hat,
dude,
not even
It's
thinking.
amazing. I think that's great.
I'm surprised we didn't get sued for that, but Disney never fucks with us in a bad. Like I think they're too big. They don't give a fuck about us. Thank God.
Kinda, you know what it is? It would backfire honestly, because if they sent it to you, you'd blow up. Everybody would be like, "I need."
Yeah,
this.
I would love that.
If they-
I wish I need more public.
If they
lawsuits.
come after you though, that means they would have to be like, yo, if we're coming after this guy, we're shutting him down forever. Like they wouldn't do something where they publicize you and you make more money on the back end after.
right?
Oh
that's
yeah,
what he
Disney
said.
would just be.
Yeah, they were
They
like,
was
we're
just like,
annihilating
one
him.
day.
Yeah, we're annihilating him.
But I feel like there's like there's and I'm fucking, there's brands like Louis Vuitton that don't give a fuck, and I think they just like being in pop culture because they know there's no way any of our fans would ever be able to afford their shit.
Yeah.
Right. So they're like, oh, if they're just doing a play on their logo, but using our brand kind of to like obviously mimic it. I think it kind of keeps people like if people mock us sometimes, well, we do sue them, but I guess no one cool. Like if someone cool tried to rip us off, no, we'd still sue them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm too small to like, if I was Disney, I'd let it slide.
Yeah, because if you're coming after somebody, you're gonna have to make sure they don't have no life after. Because to them, it's like, yo, if we're gonna publicize these guys, and
Damn, dude, like
I gotta kill him.
to the art of war just now.
Homie,
You're like, yeah,
homie,
crush them.
I've been around a lot of Jews my whole life. You know what I'm saying? I know how this shit works.
Whoa.
What, I'm Jews, baby.
Okay.
Come on now. Slow
Jesus,
down, baby.
Kanye.
Calm
That
down,
was
baby.
hard. That was a hard
Chill
one.
out,
It's a
baby.
hard J.
I've
Yeah, I
been
felt
around
like-
a lot of Jews, baby.
I felt the yay come out of that one.
Nah, yeah. Nah, I've been around a lot of Jews. They put me on game, and if you're gonna do it, you got to do it right. You know what I mean? You got to really annihilate the enemy so that it doesn't triple up afterwards.
Okay.
You feel me?
We're talking about a lawsuit here, right?
Right.
Not a murder. Okay.
No, I'm saying if Disney really wanted to come after you, and there's such a
You have
big,
to bleep Disney out of this.
They would have to cut this whole part so
I'm
that
just
they
saying.
don't even get any ideas.
I don't want to give them any ideas. Yeah, let's switch the subject.
You know what?
Sure.
We said the Jews thing, but like I kind of am. I feel like I'm a bad Jew because I don't care about anything Kanye said.
Wow.
Hey, man.
Like in the terms of like I'm very good at separating the art from the artist, and people are like, "Oh, you can't fuck with Kanye anymore." I'm like, I still like his music a lot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I
he just
don't
had a
care.
huge sellout show with Travis Scott.
Didn't he
Home.
just come out with Travis Scott?
Yeah.
Like and I have Jewish friends that are like musicians that are like, "Oh, I still want to work with Kanye."
I'm kind of-
I think we're all like, I don't care.
What-
Like I don't.
for
there's
me-
blood on everyone's hands for everything.
I think everyone's like, yeah, that's what all black people say at the cookout.
Yo, you guys think that he has all the? He's like a cat, right? He survives every time he gets canceled. But I'm asking
That's
you,
how
do you
talented
think,
he is.
Do you think no? Do you think
That's
it's
how
because
talented-
if he was white, do you think it would be different?
He'd have to be just as talented, honestly.
No,
his talent
way.
that
There's
should
no
tells you
shot.
how talented Kanye is.
You think
he
so?
can come back from all of this?
Yeah, his talent, like his talent, just is better than just is so crazy that we
It's
don't
like
care
Michael
about. We don't
Jackson
care
level.
about the antics. We're like, that's not what we come to you for, Kanye. We
But
don't
see,
come to you for
but see,
political
Eminem-
Jackson
Eminem
shit.
is
He beat
talented.
all the allegations.
Eminem is talented, but he can't come back. Like,
Eminem
and he
is
was
back.
never
What are
even
you talking
canceled.
about?
And he was
No,
never
no,
even
but
canceled.
Eminem went away. Eminem went away based on his own like I'm choosing to be sober and make a different
have a
style
family
of art.
and raise
right.
a daughter.
He didn't get he didn't like say shit and they were like get out of here and he actually got canceled.
Eminem is still really.
he's allowed
booming.
to still make
No, they're
art
trying
as
to
long as
cancel
it's
his
good.
albums because they're off of like Apple Music because
When,
he said
back in the day?
the F word. No, recently, like a couple.
Because he's still using and stuff.
because it's still on Apple Music and Spotify.
Oh,
they were
but
trying
that's
to
still, I don't believe in censoring art like that.
Oh yeah, I mean I agree.
No,
with you.
but we're discussing can Kanye come back from it, and he's got that much talent that I believe that he can do
Fire.
it. Dude, Chris Brown came back.
People
from,
are still
like,
rocking, like they're still rocking Yeezys. So you can't really say Kanye fell off when you can walk down the street and see everyone still in Yeezys.
Yeah, Russian
That's
grandpas are still
being-
on that.
Bro, people
They're
still wearing
them,
Hugo Boss
yeah.
suits,
Yeah, and
and
that-
people drive Volkswagens, right? Like, and
Yeah.
they've got the
That's a
Nazi
fact.
fucking.
People are still
heritage.
going out their way to buy Yeezys. They're not even Foot Locker and Champions. They're losing money because they're not putting them
wearing
in the
Right.
store because that's the only thing people would buy if they walked into the store.
Trust me, I agree. I'm just asking about the cancel culture because I feel like everything is so one-sided all the time.
Well, I think the world gets conservative every 20 years. We'll be back to normal in like a
Right, you do need a pushback.
think so?
Yeah,
you
we'll
need
be
a
back.
push,
We'll be
you do
back.
need some pushback,
yeah,
right?
that's
with
mad
art.
funny that you said that.
We'll be back in a little bit, man. The world just keeps on going.
Look, if you get canceled, just be more talented because you could get away with it.
Honestly, if I just get canceled, I'm gonna start a podcast like everybody else, man. Like, just go on my Patreon, get an extra few views, subscribe to my Instagram, my thread.
Yo, you can plant the seed.
Only
right now.
Fansly.
Out of all those fans, is the easiest moneymaker.
Yeah, I know.
The amount of money that I've seen these girls come through our house and talk about and show me their fan statements, it's very depressing.
Yeah.
It's just very depressing because I'm like, I also have a body.
I know why it's depressing. It's because it's like, yo, this chick is selling this fans for like $10. I have $10. But also, 100 other people have $10 too. So
Right.
if 1,000 people have $10,
It's just crazy because they're like, I charge $50 for this video. I'm like, Netflix is $16 a month.
Yeah.
For all that entertainment.
It's crazy, bro.
I haven't been on fans in a while. I enjoyed it in 2020. It was fun.
These girls are making $100,000 a month. I know like ex bartenders in New York that make $20,000 now, and you're just like, damn, I wish I had a pussy.
Yeah, I don't subscribe when they first start. I wait till
tell us why.
I wait because when they first start, they're like, it's new, it's booming, spikes. Nah, I need when you need to keep them there.
when it's like, hey,
when you're desperate, right?
Yeah, when you gotta like keep them there.
yeah,
honestly.
when she'll like spread extra,
honestly,
you can start making demands.
And now the manager's not answering the messages. She is.
I can't afford to give up.
Yeah.
I honestly say all the time, I'm like, if your fans isn't you masturbating until you shake, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, there's a lot of just like girls that are like implied nudity, like, oh, oops.
Oh, if you want to see it.
I'm like, do you understand on this app are professionals?
Yes.
Yeah. Right? That's like you just standing in the parking lot of an NBA game being like, hey, I'm trying here. And you're like, bro, like, do you know what they're doing inside?
Yeah, you know what it is? It's like not the real. It's like the people that heard about what everybody else was doing and now they showed up after. It's like, it's like when Tinder first started, everyone knew what it was for.
Right.
And, there was not really a lot of talking. You got a match. Everyone knew what it was. And then it got to the point where, this is a dating app. I'm here looking for love. And it was like, do you not know how this works?
It's crazy.
New people that show up. Yeah, the new people
Go on
that
Hinge for
show
all
up.
that. Because on Hinge, girls are like, Hinge is so funny. If you like, my boy shows me his Hinge all the time, and girls will have like statements. It's like basically almost like MySpace. You scroll and it's like blocks on each thing, and
Right.
as you keep scrolling, it's a picture, then it's a quote, then it's a picture, then it's a quote, and on the quote it says no firemen, no policemen.
I'm like,
no
how
military
could you? That shit used to always blow me on on dating apps. I was like, how do you have we don't even know. No one knows you, yo.
Yeah,
Right.
what are you talking about?
Like
coming up with these categories.
You better say more than hi. It's like, yo, what do you want me to say?
You're
to
on
you,
this
yo?
app too.
If you don't play ping pong, I'm not ever meeting up with you or some shit like that.
Dude,
what are you talking about?
standards on dating apps. You're like, dude, we're all just desperate.
I'm
here.
so happy I'm not on it anymore. I'm so happy my dick is off the streets. It's like
I tell my
amazing.
girl all the time,
I
I'm
had
like,
fun.
yo, thank
I
God.
had fun. I had a
don't have
great
to
time.
use that shit.
I didn't do the dating apps. I would just slide in. I was such a dirtbag when I had Slut Whisper, and when I was like the only real influencer in New York. It was like me and Jen Selter, I think, and Fat Jew. And I would just be bored, single on a Friday, and I would just post, who's going out in New York tonight? And then like all the comments would be like, 700 dudes and then like 30 decent looking girls. And then you'd just be like, oh, and be like, hey, come to the city and let's get fucking weird.
And the gram used to be
And
popping
then
up
I would
different.
just fuck fans. And it was
Now the algorithm
hilarious.
doesn't even populate you. Back in the day, it used to be on
now I'm
everyone's
not gonna get anything.
timeline.
I couldn't get laid on Instagram anymore.
Yeah, it was a good time in the world. I had the craziest Tinder. I met a dude in GameStop just like casually. Like, wait, what? It's a great story. Met a dude at GameStop, man, because I like trading my games in. And we started talking a lot, and he was like, "Yo, I work at Tinder," and I was like, "Oh, word, that's what's up. I'm a comic." Blah blah blah. I was like, just like, "Yo, come to the show, whatever, bro." We run into each other in a few parties later, like a month or two pass. And he hits me up on like IG. He's like, "Yo, man, I'm leaving Tinder, but I got something for you." And he sent me a link, and he was like, "Yo, this is a lifetime Tinder Gold membership." He was like, click the link. I clicked the link, and it took me to his profile. I had to swipe right on him.
Oh, God.
I had to swipe right on this dude. And after it just turned my shit into a gold, and it was loaded. It had all the boosts, all the super likes.
God, you could clean up on Tinder.
Oh, yeah, it was insane.
I would throw that in every girlfriend's face. I'm like, do you understand what I have here?
Oh, I'll
you
delete
fuck
it.
up.
I deleted it already.
Yeah, but you can get it back. The
No,
account's there.
I took it all off.
It's done.
I deactivated the account itself. I didn't just put it in idle.
I would have had it on a phone in a lockbox. And like,
Ooh,
you start
you don't
acting.
even know.
You start asking.
leverage.
You start acting frisky. I'm gonna get the phone out.
Yeah, it was dark. It was
I got a lot
it
of-
was a great time, but it was a dark time too.
You would be good in the actor strike. You see, you would have to find like a little pain point just to
Of what?
hold over people's head. Like,
like I would be
Yeah.
good as the Jew manipulating
Yes,
the
correct.
writers
Exactly. No, you would be good if you were on their side,
on the writers' strike.
because you could find a little pain point.
Well, they say that they can't work right now. They can't write right now. Everyone's saying, or not everyone. Who said it? I forgot who fucking said it. But essentially, that stand up is gonna fucking thrive
Stand-up
because
will
it's
thrive.
because it's the only thing that you guys. There's gonna be more specials coming out because it doesn't require.
until AI
Writers.
gets very good at making jokes.
Yeah, I'm not worried about AI really.
There's gonna be a comic that's gonna sell himself out, show
Yeah.
up to OpenAI headquarters, and then start fucking.
No,
writing
they've
for
already.
them.
I'm pretty sure that guy is already out here.
Yeah,
man.
somebody's
Right, like, are
selling you
there
guys
AI
out.
Has AI written any good jokes?
Not yet, but they're working.
Who
on it.
knows? Who knows? Really, that's what I think. Who knows? If
You
it
need like
has.
an AI that's seen like enough horrible shit to have a fucked up view of the world.
It does. it has everything. It's
Right.
connected to the world.
The craziest thing is AI is quick to pick up on the dark shit though. So that means it definitely knows how to formulate the dark shit if it has
Like,
to pick up on
can
it,
you
right?
ask an AI to write a good Holocaust joke?
I could do.
Oh, did you
Try
hear
right
about
now.
the
No.
first AI they let free on Twitter?
Did it just fucking?
It just became racist immediately. Like I
Damn.
forgot what it is. They opened it for like a day. People started tweeting at it. It immediately became a racist
Yo,
troll.
isn't that crazy that that's the way as a society we go, right? Like we don't want to say nice things. We always want to test the limits of like, oh, let's just say something absurd.
I'm a comment section guy, man. I love the comment sections. Like I watch something good online. I'm like, ooh, I know the comment section about to go crazy.
Oh, dude.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's why I love posting like anything political are my favorite posts.
Yeah. Yep.
Like I feel so disingenuous because I don't really follow politics enough. But like I'll post just because I'm like, I just want a good comment section today. I want to laugh.
It's the best when they fight and argue. We had
man.
we had an argument on one of our clips on TikTok where we were talking about churches and like
Oh man, that's the
religion.
best, right?
Anytime you can shit on religion, that's an easy one to pull. Religion, politics, like you know someone's gonna come out of the woodwork. Like when I have too many fans in the comments, I'm like, all right, there's too much positivity. They love me too much. I need to like get some angry people in here. You just pull at someone's like political,
Oh my god, it's just.
or I'll put on underwear just to scare them up. They're like, oh, this guy's too fucking gay now. Like I'm like, yes.
I just love digging into comment sections and watching and like reading like 20 comments of an argument between two people I don't even fucking know.
Oh, it's the best.
Just like
the best.
two strangers just arguing over the dumbest
crazy
thing.
as shit.
And one's always
Online.
using like really like college terms, and you're just
Trying to
like,
prove themselves
Right,
because of
you're
it,
like,
like, yo.
right, and then they misspell one thing, and you're like, oh,
And
this
you
guy's
just
a-
shoot at it right away.
Like, this guy's a moron. You used the wrong your,
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm not even going back and forth with you no more.
and then
yeah.
70 more.
Clearly,
back
you're
and forth.
stupid. You don't understand.
I love it. Yo, I'm lit in real life.
what-
I make this much. I drive a what? So what if ASAP Rocky is my profile picture?
I'll send you my big statement right now. Send me yours.
It always gets into like how their life is actually going.
They're like,
It's
your life sucks, so your opinion doesn't matter.
But I'm like, you guys are both clearly on your burner accounts. This
One dude was like, I make cash. I don't put my money in the bank.
I miss Twitter so much. Are you on Twitter? Or
X.
whatever that fucking.
I'm there.
I can't.
I'm there. It's, you know,
Is it a good place for comedy?
nah, not really.
It's a good place for porn.
It's
and-
amazing.
What's
Yeah,
a good
porn
place
is
for comedy
going
right now,
insane.
social media wise?
I guess people would say TikTok. I like Instagram. I also enjoy putting my stuff on YouTube. You said YouTube is like great. I like YouTube just because I feel like 50,000 views on YouTube means more than 50,000 views on Instagram because I can think of all those things that I love on YouTube that I watch for years that only have like 100,000 followers.
So that also, I think they're inflating numbers on social media just to keep the addiction, right? Like, I think TikTok fakes the plays because they basically let every single person go viral once.
Yes.
So that it gives you that hit of heroin. And then now everyone's chasing that high to be like, I can go viral again. I'm going to keep posting on this app. And therefore their app stays alive and keeps curated, which is why I agree with you. When YouTube people have a lot of views, they become like actually famous.
Yeah.
Right? Like Logan Paul's and those guys are like fucking on top of the world right now because a true YouTube celebrity is a real celebrity. A TikTok celebrity, you're like, bro, like my grandma has 9 million.
I remember doing shows with Jimmy Tatro back in the day. Tatro was a huge YouTube guy, and he was selling out theaters.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I think YouTube is the one place. That's what we try to focus on here. It's just like
Correct. Yeah.
is that if you can pop off on YouTube, you're good everywhere else, right? Look at the podcasters, right?
Yeah.
Every big podcaster is selling out theaters as a comedian who shouldn't be, but it's all those fucking numbers.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, listen, everything turns corporate sooner or later.
Yeah.
Because
Like, do you have to are you sitting there making TikToks and like, dude, I have to get in my underwear and like dance in thongs and make silly videos to sell merch and it works for my audience and I have fun doing it, but at the same time you're just like, is this any of this art? Like, I feel like a fucking.
We're about to lean into the content. Like I said at the beginning, I'm finally at the place where I'm going to lean into the content. But luckily, I have stand up,
Right.
and I have so much stand up.
you're gonna do some skits.
I'm down to do a few reels, a few skits. I did do a few for my homegirl, DJ Damo. I did this Dead Dirt campaign with her. That was like
Wow.
Rob Moss. I was like Trap, Bob Ross.
I like that.
That's
yeah,
cool.
we were gardening instead of painting.
That's tough.
And
I like
yeah,
that.
I did a few sketches for her. I did Machine Gun Kelly. He shot a sketch comedy show with me and Pete and a bunch of other comics. So I did a bunch of sketches with him, and I'm down to do a bunch of sketches. I just don't want to do them aimlessly. I want them to lead to something. Like you said, I'm selling merch. I'm doing
Right,
something. I don't
right.
want to just do it just for the attention. I want to do like 3 sketches and the album comes out at the end. 3 sketches and there's a new set on
Right.
YouTube.
How do we
so-
monetize it? How do we bring it somewhere? So it's
Yeah.
not just like.
Are you doing
pointless.
stand up every night?
Like mostly every other night.
That's like the thing you're really focused on.
Stand-up
Laser
is-
focused. Like you're like I want to get to what theaters.
Yo, my main thing right now, stamina. Stamina.
Like the gym.
Yeah,
You're just really conditioning yourself.
Yeah, the stage time for me is stamina, and luckily, stand up is something that I get to do all the time. I can do it when I'm sad.
Right.
I do it when I'm working. That's where I make all of my money.
Right.
So I'm always doing stand up.
Are you funnier when you're sad or happy?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think I'm probably way funnier when I'm happy.
Really?
I'm funnier when I'm angry.
I'm so much better when I'm angry. 'cause
Yeah,
I'm just
same.
like I'm wittier in the moment. But I guess
Oh,
if you
I-
have the material written.
Now you have to be sad to write material, but the new material makes me happy.
So there's your therapy session. Does it help having 2 older brothers that do this craft as well?
Yeah, because they keep me away from bullshit, and then I don't have an unrealistic view of the game. So
Right. But you kind of also have that like, okay, it's attainable. I
Yes.
see it. It's in my family, right? Like,
Yeah.
I can play the world's biggest stages, but then they also help you. Like, do they give you like
They-
Big Brother fucking
when I
stand-up
call
advice?
them and I need advice,
Right.
they give me advice. When I ask them questions, they always give me the answers. But I always took that I was doing a decent job because they didn't tell me to stop.
Oh, yeah, that's
If they would have
That's
told me
good.
stop, I would have
Yeah.
been like, oh man, I must not be doing good. But I did MSG with Chris on the Blackout
Fire.
tour.
Yeah.
I open for Tone all the time when I'm not headlining. So yeah, we talk all the time, and yeah, they definitely they steer me from the BS. But at the same time, I feel like why maybe I'm not so known in stand up is because I never had, besides my big brothers, no one's ever, a lot of comics roll together. They come
Right,
together.
right.
They're like, oh man, I'm going to be your big brother. I'm going to be
Right.
the older comic that takes you on the road.
Yeah, you're
and
like,
does
who's
this."
going to be better than Tony and Chris?
Yeah,
for me?
exactly.
Yeah,
And
like,
they
who's
have-
going to take you under their wing? So you kind of actually had to do it alone. You just have like, a little Illuminati that you can kind of
Yeah,
stand in the
exactly,
corner and be
yeah.
like, hey, what are we doing?
Yeah, I do it alone and I do it longer just because, people
Do you
see
feel
me-
you had more to prove?
Yeah, of course.
So you're like, I don't want to feel like it was handed to me by them, which is like kind of dope that I'm like, I also respect Chris because I'm like, he could have put the whole family on tour.
Yeah, that's
Right. And it's like Chris, he you went up in New York in like your hometown. So did Tony, but he's like,
But that's the
He
but
lets them-
that's the discipline factor.
It was the year I was lit. I had just, loved season
right.
3. We had the after
That's
party.
awesome.
I did HBO All Deaf. It was all in that year, that time.
Right.
So it was like, it made sense. It finally made sense. So
Right, fire.
yeah, they didn't want to just take me on road immediately because then I'd never have the respect of my peers. So.
Correct.
right, because everyone
It's
would
a
just be like,
discipline.
it was
Yeah, you
handed
got to
to
build that
Yeah.
discipline.
And even right now, I'm trying to get over the writer's hump of, when we come back, of trying to sell something. And once I sell something and, I get that first, created by credit,
Right.
it's going to be, we're going to be floodgate open. We're all going to be working together by then. But it's just
Fire.
like, if my brother just doesn't want to work on anybody's first thing.
Right. I get it.
He wants to play a role in whatever it may be. He just
Right.
doesn't want to be the reason why it gets.
But that's
across
smart.
the finish line.
But that's smart because then, like you said, you end up building that character,
Yeah.
and that callus for the game. Why would he want to just kind of like lift you in there? It's better you build your own shit.
Plus, I'm sure he's, anyone that's successful has a lot of mouths to feed, right?
Oh, some-
right. So it's like, if I can just if he sees that greatness in you, it's like, why would I accelerate when I know he's getting there anyways? And, fuck up his path.
Yeah.
Well,
And just knowing the true artistic journey of it.
right.
all.
Why would he
So it's
deprive
like-
you of that shit and let you cut the line, right?
Yeah.
It's also like a respect thing. Like,
It is,
You got to
of course.
respect the craft.
Of course.
I know, okay, this is my final question. I know your Tony addressed the slap on stage. Did you ever address it? Did you ever like put it into your act?
I did a set that's online that I did at Kevin on stage, Keep Your Distance. That just tossed it out there that I did after the Netflix thing. Never put it. I cut it out, put it on Instagram, but that's when my reels weren't like janking the way they are now. It was just a quick joke. I did DC the week after the slap.
Oh.
And I sold out every show. Like the tickets sold out
They
immediately.
could have put up an
because
actual,
they were like,
they could have put
yo,
a rock on stage.
it
But,
was
like,
it
they're like-
felt like a press conference. Like it happened
Yeah.
Sunday. I was in DC on Thursday. It was like they came to, and DC is already a place where I get a lot of reactions.
Did
when
you
I
give
come.
them your opinion?
Oh yeah, of course. I gave it to them at the end. Yeah,
That's
the
mad funny.
jokes were just. I don't even know what I did in DC that I did because it was just all off the cuff. What I ended up doing on Kev's thing was everybody was just like, I said, he picked the right rock. He picked the nigga with the most to lose. Like honestly, I would love to be on TMZ. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need that.
That's funny.
So I said, I was like, everybody calls me immediately, like, why you ain't hit him back? I'm like, yo, he can't hit Will Smith back. He supports my family, dude. Like, he hit Will Smith back, I would be looking at the TV like, nigga, you don't give a fuck about Ma at all, Like, yo, you were being so selfish. You weren't thinking about anybody, were you?
Dude,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
mad
that's
funny.
so true. That's so fucking true because, dude, we were talking about on the tour, they're like, yo, they think Kanye's going to come to one of the shows. And I'm standing there in my head being like, if I just stabbed Kanye tonight, I would be the most famous person tomorrow. And probably enough of the world would be like on my side as like a Jew. I was like, and it's just sitting there. Thank God Kanye didn't come. But also, I just love my job too much with Chris. But you're just sitting there and being like, oh, in this situation, me attacking someone would benefit me more. Right? Like you getting attacked by Will Smith would benefit your career more than
Yeah, and I
than
could
it
have
did.
attacked them afterwards. I just did not. I could have attacked Kanye that year verbally. Like it was a crazy year that
Crazy
year.
year, right. Crazy year.
Because one of my good friends was beefing with Kanye all year, and then my family started beefing with Will Smith. I couldn't
Look,
tweet
you
shit.
took the righteous path. You took the righteous
I
artistic path.
could have.
Was it hard not to be? Yeah. Was it hard not to be like, yo, I could just
Imagine you put out a diss track.
Exactly.
Like,
I could
that
have did
shit would've
so
been
much
tough.
shit.
You
I could have
could've
did
done
so much stuff, and I just did not.
You kind of played.
Phone ring. Oh, it's fucking.
Yo, you called.
USA
Did,
Today.
Dude.
Get in.
did you get a chance to
The
call
Times.
Chris and be like, "Yo, tell me when I'ma hop in.
Yeah.
I'ma get him.
Just let me know.
Just let me know."
No, I just you know in that time I just know how big it is,
course, yeah.
how you know,
Dude, it was like the biggest thing that happened that Sunday
In
night.
the world, period.
yeah. And then I also know where I am, so I know like every time I talk to TMZ and I'm like they're not going to use that. They always do, so I'm like I don't want to talk
Right.
to TMZ.
Zero.
yeah,
Right. And you're waiting for him to make the move.
Yeah, I don't wanna
You
talk for-
someone else,
Yeah,
right?
It's like
Oh,
gossip,
dude.
yeah.
Dude, I was in the month later. I was in LA for Dave's show when he got tackled.
I was
And that
there.
shit was. You were there too?
Yeah, we were there.
Oh
I
yeah.
ran into you.
Oh, that's right. Dude, that shit was
They whooped his ass. That was great.
right.
I like that. Like
It
some
was
on
like-
2000 shit.
Yo,
But
it
I do
was
feel like all those things though help make them bigger.
Yes.
Right? As long as you're not truly injured. Like, thank God no one got stabbed. Chris just got slapped. Dave got tackled. Like, I feel like that helps everyone's career.
Yeah, it was-
You
it
almost
made
should plant
comedy-
it. You almost should plant a tackling or an attack. Like a Juicy Smollett setup where, I mean, that works.
It works.
It works.
It works.
I should just start a service attacking comedians.
Yeah, I just love that they stomped that guy. That was
Me too.
crazy.
I
It
fuck
was
with
like,
that.
It was like the vibe at there was like, you ever been to a part like a house party where you got to jump, where like somebody gets jumped real
And
quick,
you with the homies,
and like
it's
they
time
just
to-
toss
I grew
them
up in New
out,
Jersey,
and the
and-
party like just goes right back
Yeah.
to what it
You're
was.
like,
That's exactly what happened.
But I like it because
It
it
was
was
so-
top tier people
was
acting
so
like it was
surreal.
the
It was
2000s. That's what I fuck
was,
with.
thought
It
it
was
was fake.
superstars.
Yeah.
It was superstars back there, like
Correct.
really,
Like,
getting
really putting
licks
it
in. I
down.
was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, he stopped. Chappelle stopped, went back, got a stomping, and then went back to the stage.
Dude, it was the best thing ever
love it.
because that was the first time any of those people with that much money could commit those kind of crimes and get away with it, right?
Yes.
Like, anywhere else
Yes.
they'd be sued.
Everybody got
Everyone's
it out that
like,
night.
Jon Stewart was like out there doing his shit. You're like, oh, he's been wanting to
Yo,
get that out for a
everybody
while.
got-
yeah,
yeah.
they're like, this is a tax-free beating because this guy
it's great.
deserves it.
It's great. Yeah, but not it doesn't always play out like that. You know, some people really the guys that get stomped out sometimes come out winning on the other side. Sometimes, you know, and it's good that he didn't win because they could go. They can sue you. They can still find a way to.
Yeah, they
make
didn't
money.
do it. They didn't. They did it the right amount.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. It came out perfect. It was like the because in the
Perfect marination
It was just like
of a
chef's kiss
Yeah.
on the stomping. It was like, you know,
It was almost like the Alabama brawl. It was like right there, you know,
just
because it was a plastic chair. Not
if
a
I was
steel
Dave,
chair.
I would release only that footage as my next Netflix special. I guarantee Netflix would take it and they'd be like, cool.
I would do a drill
Just that
song.
clip, just
He
the
already
beating.
has it.
Just the beating.
Yeah?
They know what?
I'm saying he has the footage clearly.
Yeah. I would pay to watch that.
Hell yeah, it would be a good intro to the next special.
Just that guy getting
That
beat.
would be the best intro to the special.
best.
Just like him turning around and
With
like
the
they
drum
catch him
music?
like they
With
catch
drum-
him like slow motion, like dusting himself off real quick.
Like Fabio and Kanye could
Dude,
do like
Jamie
a song
Foxx,
for it.
P. Diddy, Jon Stewart.
Tough,
There was
tough.
there was a lot of fucking names on that
Walking
stage.
out to that is gas.
Dude, it was such a it felt fake the whole time.
It did.
Sick. Yeah, I fuck with that too.
And then later that night, we're at the after party, and Chappelle and them are on stage, and I'm Chappelle, Chrissy, everyone's on stage, and I'm like about to walk up to the stage just to just say what's up to my brother. Everyone, security guard is like, yo, like just yokes me way into the air. I'm like with my girl. I'm like, yo, chill, dude. Like
A family.
dude. I'm family. And then he's like, oh. And my girl goes, what's that about? I'm like, he really doesn't know if he's going to have a job.
Right.
He really wants to quit.
Yeah.
He wants to quit really bad. I think he did that on purpose.
He really doesn't know if he's going to have a job.
Dude, that's
anymore.
gotta be
He's
the
gotta go.
He'd rather be on unemployment.
Dude, that's good. Yeah.
You had one job, man. Just make sure he doesn't get touched.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
All right, I think that's the fucking longest episode we've had in a while. Dude,
Right,
this is
you know,
great. I like it. I love it. Jordan, what do you want?
Plug in whatever.
Yo, anything you want to plug?
Jordan Rock. Follow me on IG. We're putting out all the sketches, all the reels, the stand up. album coming out in the fall. Shout out My Mental Capacity. Should be out everywhere, streaming services. And be on the lookout. Have a movie, micro budget in 2024 should be coming out too. So yeah, we got some things in the can, hopefully.
Sweet.
And guys, don't forget to rate the episodes too. And just like on, iTunes, podcast iTunes, right? That's what it's called. YouTube. Give us a little writing, write it out, comment, subscribe.